It's been 6 years since Game of Thrones wrapped up, and the final season remains a source of bitter debate. For many, the show's ending overshadowed its legacy. This was a series that once set a new standard for television, combining fantasy, political intrigue, and epic battles with blockbuster production values and a stellar cast. Yet, despite all that, disappointment is the feeling that lingers most. But honestly, the ending itself wasn't the real issue. The biggest mistake of Game of Thrones was how it got there. Among the finale's many surprises, Daenerys Targaryen's sudden transformation into a tyrant was perhaps the most jarring. After years of being portrayed as a liberator, her rapid descent into destruction felt like a betrayal to many fans. However, looking back, the choice to make her a villain fits her character's underlying traits. Daenerys consistently exhibited authoritarian tendencies. She crucified enemies without trial, burned dissenters alive, and insisted she knew what was best for the realm. The problem wasn't her fate, it was the rushed and unearned way the story got there. Daenerys' shift could have been a powerful tragic arc if it had been given the careful build-up that defined the earlier seasons. Instead, the show's accelerated pace in its final chapters turned complex motivations into oversimplified plot points. Key moments like Missandei's death, the growing mistrust around Daenerys, and her isolation deserved more time to breathe. But everything was crammed together, making it feel like the story was hastily ticking boxes rather than evolving naturally. This rush affected all characters. Tyrion, once a cunning strategist, became a series of bad decisions. Jaime's well-crafted redemption was undone. Jon Snow's reveal as the rightful heir was downplayed without payoff. Even Bran's unexpected rise to the throne felt hollow and unexplained. The finale seemed less about narrative logic and more about simply concluding the saga. Game of Thrones was always about patient storytelling. Early seasons excelled at political complexity and deep character development. It wasn't just about dragons and battles but about power's cost and moral ambiguity. However, once the show surpassed George R.R. Martin's source material and sped toward its finish, the writing suffered. Shocks became cheap surprises, and fans noticed the loss of depth. In the end, it wasn't the story's conclusion that broke the show, it was abandoning the thoughtful storytelling that made it great. The tragedy of the final season is that with more time and care, the ending could have been as legendary as the rest of the series. Instead, 6 years on, it remains a painful reminder of what might have been. The fact that the ending still stings shows just how much the show mattered. Despite the missteps, Game of Thrones captured our imagination like few others. And maybe that's the greatest testament to its power. A story can only disappoint so deeply if it first captivated you completely.